Now it was wedding day out around the bay, and all hands was in the mood to watch the youngsters tie the knot and have some drinking food. There's nothing like a wedding shore to spread a happy mood, but Uncle Jim and Uncle Bill, they had their doubts. 'Twas Uncle Jim's granddaughter Beth there walking down the aisle, and certainly she looked lovely in the latest wedding style. But Buddy stood up waiting there beside the Reverend Doyle. Well, now they hadn't been too fussy over Buddy. Ever since young Beth had said that she would splice up with a fellow from Toronto, and no pop, he got no lice, and that his name was Jethro, and that he was really nice. Yes, mate, said Jim. Jethro, from Toronto. Now don't start, said Beth, right off the bat. I thinks the world of he. If he can't split a fish or kill a moose, then that's no odds to me. He can make a wicked latte, and he's sensitive, you see. Yes, mate, said Bill. Sensitive. From Toronto. And so all hands was curious to see Beth's man arrive. Sure half the crowd from Boiler Cove was gathered in Jim's drive. He showed up right on supper time, about 5:30, Jethro, and he had his best man, Jasper. They looked just like two lumberjacks stood up beside their Minnie, plaid shirts and suspenders, bushy beards as thick as any, hair done up in buns behind their heads like Jim's Aunt Penny. One beard said, "Dudes, I'm Jethro. This is Jasper, eh?" Now, there wasn't much to Jethro. Jim said, "I dare say Beth could carry him across the threshold easy, and I suppose he's vegetarian. I don't say he could tear the roof. I wonder why she'd marry him. For sure he's not too handy at the turs." No, it seemed to Jim and Bill that young Jethro wasn't much. He probably couldn't kill a moose or rebuild a skidoo clutch. When it came to hanging doors, he probably didn't have the touch. So they figured they should check him out, eh, boy? They tried to teach him cards one night, since they would be related. He went 20 with no 5 and got his partner irritated. Now that's a venal sin at least, so he was excommunicated. Beth said, "But he's some deadly at the warcraft." Bill said, "I seen it on the wharf, old man. You talk about queer sights. He had himself tied up in knots, half hitches and bites, stood up on one leg like the gull. I think he had on tights, arms stretched out, like the shag drying his wings. They took him out in boat one day to try and get a fish. They got a few, but soon found out that he was proper nish. Bill said, 'Aunt Suze will cook him up, sure, any way you wish.' But Buddy said, 'Is that fish gluten-free?' He didn't know the difference in a tiercer and a puncheon. He wanted milk with no lactose. He wanted low-fat scruncheons. They took him in the woods one day when they went rabbit hunting, but he only said, 'Aw, the cute little bunny rabbit.' He said he'd help Bill at the wood if he could use the axe. Bill said, 'Yes, my son, you split it, and I'll put it all in stacks.' 'Oh, just a moment, please,' he said. 'I need to put in wax.' 'In his beard,' said Bill. 'You know, he's not bad like Pa Bunyan.' And Jasper couldn't row or scull a punt or even bail. He tried to change a tire, gave up when he broke a nail. He didn't like Jim's turnip tops. He wanted wilted kale. Oh my, what was the two boys like a towel? Well, the wedding went ahead, and Jim, he held his peace. Bill started into bawling. Beth was his favorite niece. And then the magic happened, and you all know what I mean, as the youngsters stood together in that timeless wedding scene, their faces all aglow, lost in each other's eyes, the mystery of the ages as two hearts synchronized. And suddenly Jim realized his little girl was safe, and that was all that mattered, and the tears rolled down his face. And so here's to brides and grooms, and here's to love and kisses, here's to happily ever after for Buddy and the missus.